Hey, welcome back for another book review. We're going to talk about this one. If you watched yesterday's video, you'll know why I sound like this. But basically, I am sick, if you couldn't tell. And yeah, so the vibe is like mildly lukewarm at best. So let's talk about this book. It is not an indication of my opinion on the book, by the way. I just feel like crap because colds suck and I try and post every single day. So, yay. And I needed to drop these back off at the library. So, gotta do that today. Anyways, let's talk about this one. It is Living Reiki, Heal Yourself and Transform Your Life by Melissa Tipton, which I remember when I hauled this, I was so excited about that name, but I don't have the energy to be excited. But if you grew up on the Disney Channel, you know the Tiptons. Anyways, this book, Living Reiki, is, I don't know how accurate it is for Reiki. To be honest, I've read one other book on Reiki, and that would, some of the stuff lined up, some of it didn't. Said the reviews were kind of mixed. Some people mentioned how it had more of a, like, Wicca and witchcraft and stuff mixed in to Reiki, and others were like, this is like the best book ever on Reiki. So I can't say on that how much, because I don't know. And I don't know how much normal Reiki has on, like, Hermetics and Jungian. That's a hard name on a good day. On a sick brain, that's rough. Philosophy. That dude, yeah. I don't know how much is normally in Reiki for that, because I just don't know. This book tends to focus very heavily on, like, the philosophy of Reiki, and then there's a few exercises per chapter to try at home, but a lot of this is heavily focused on the philosophy things, the philosophical things stuff. Yeah. Rating time. I gave it a 4. I know that, again, I'm not giving the vibe that I love this book, but I do. I just feel like death warmed over right now. So, first of all, I had some mixed feelings with this, because, like, initially, like, the thing is, like, again, I don't know a lot about Reiki. I don't know how much Hermetics and stuff, and Jungian. That name is really hard to say when you're not talking through your nose. I know we say we talk through your nose when you're sick, but isn't it not talking through your nose? Because it's, like, stuffed with snot. Anyways, that dude, Carl's philosophy, I don't know in, like, traditional Reiki how prevalent that was. Because if I remember the other Reiki book correctly, it started kind of at the same time. Like, was it Carl Jung? Which, it's probably just the sick brain, and I'm probably pronouncing it correctly, but it feels like I'm saying it wrong. But he and the dude who founded Reiki, like, weren't they both kind of in, like, the 1960s? And so, like, you know, how much is that traditional Reiki and how much is this the author kind of commingling it, you know? And so that part kind of tripped me out. Same with Hermetics. Like, how much of Hermetic philosophy really is in traditional Reiki? Because isn't Hermetics more Western world, and isn't Reiki more Eastern world philosophy systems? So stuff like that, I don't know. So it's kind of iffy. And I got really tired of listening to her philosophies, and that it was all that this book was. And, like, I will admit, I read this while sick, so her going off on these philosophical ramblings was like, oh my god, just get to the damn point. Like, I don't care. Just get there. Because I was wanting this to be more of an instructional manual kind of a book, like a lot of witchcraft books are, and it's just her rambling about philosophy for a lot of it. And I was kind of getting tired of that, and it's just not a system that I really cared about. And then a little over, well, I guess maybe it was like the halfway-ish point, I did decide to finally try one of the exercises in the most I'm sick, does it work methodologies. And it was like, you're supposed to envision a time in your childhood where, like, you didn't have a choice, you didn't have control, and then you visualize that you give yourself that control, which is a lot of this, is just a lot of visualizations and stuff. And I was like, cool, okay, doing that. And it actually was surprisingly helpful to do, because I immediately caught my own block with it of like, there is no choice in this matter. You don't have an option. And you kind of sit with that for a while, because like for me, I go back to like being in the hospital and like, you don't get a choice. You have to have these medical treatments done to you. But it's like, if you replay that as an adult and like, again, mentally, it's not gonna change the past, so like, just play with it a little bit, and to be like, actually, you know, it's the little things that would have made a difference. Like, get rid of the horrible overhead lighting of fluorescent death, and have like soft ambient lighting, you know? Like some fairy lights kind of a vibe. Low lighting, not so bright in your face, and like, giving me time to just sit and breathe and relax. And you know, I'm not gonna die in the next like 5 minutes. You could give me a few minutes to like collect myself. That would be an option. And also, maybe not give me medications that I was allergic to and had an inhibitor to, and it would literally do nothing except make me have to not breathe. But, you know, options. And so, you know, I went through this whole visualization of like, where could I have given myself choices of like really what would have made a difference? And it actually was surprisingly helpful. And so then I kind of started to shift my mind. I was like, well, crap, I guess it kind of worked. Damn. So I was like, okay, well, maybe. And so I flipped back through it. I was like, I don't know. So kind of the way I ended with this book is that it feels very like shadow work ish, and more of like that self-development side of things of like, if you, I feel like I'm Chucky from Rugrats. That's the voice that's like not related at all, but like, do you remember that show where he would always talk like through his nose? God, that's what I feel like I talk like right now, because just, oh my god. Anyways, self-development, that's what this is about. And just shadow work and stuff. I think the exercises could be very helpful. I don't know if it's like the equivalent of doing an actual Reiki, like attunement and stuff. I don't think it has all of the information for Reiki. And she even talks about how it's like, there is a difference if you've had like an actual attunement from somebody versus like do it yourself. And I think ultimately if you're gonna learn Reiki, you probably need to do it from somebody. But for like shadow work and just self-development for yourself, I think there's a lot of really good exercises in here, which is kind of who I would recommend this book to. If you are into self-development, if you are into just like shadow work and trying to learn Reiki and just kind of doing it for yourself, not necessarily as like, I'm gonna go be a Reiki healer and like take care of people and stuff, like just for you, I think it's a pretty good resource. Anyways, I'm like dying, so I'm gonna call it. And yeah, so check out this book, support your local library. Find me on Patreon, find me on my blog, find my books, all that jazz. I am gonna go try and breathe and just feel like crap. And hopefully next time you see me, at the very least, the cold meds will do more than this. This is such an improvement, by the way. This is my second dose of cold medicine for today. And like, this is the improved version. Cause like, I was like this close to just an audio file, and then I was like, no, I should at least try. So I did, and I still feel like crap. So anyways, I will see you next time. Maybe feeling better, maybe not sounding like Chucky from the Rugrats. And until next time, blessed be.